fire. Stop saying you're upset about this. Find me someone that, knows about Teresa. Okay, I'm sick of Jersey. I'm sick of it. Let's move on. Let's move on. You know what I find interesting, just for a second? I find it so interesting that Bethenny Frankel now is saying, apparently she's explaining why she's no longer close with Lisa Rinna and Kyle Richards. And did you guys see this? Bethenny has come out and said, I loved Lisa Rinna. I loved her. I've known her forever, because Bethenny's known everyone forever. I've known her forever. Loved her. But, when we started to fall out was when I saw what the machine was. All of a sudden, we have a machine, a corporate machine, which I kind of agree with her. I saw what the machine of Bravo and Housewives was doing to her. Look, we all saw Lisa Rinna get caught up last season, guys. So she's saying that's why she fell out with Rinna. And for Kyle, same pretty much thing. She's referring to watch what happens. When Kyle was asked, why did you unfollow Bethenny? Bethenny is also saying it's all about the questions. And I agree with her. She's saying, a caller calls in. I agree with her. I think that's bullshit half the time. I think it's Andy Cohen's question when she's like, a caller would like to know. No, Andy, it's your question, or it's one of your staff's questions. But they asked Kyle, why'd you unfollow Bethenny? Kyle said, well, she unfollowed me and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's saying Kyle got caught up in the machine. What? So Bethenny's now blaming Bravo and Andy for all of her problems. But what I also find interesting is then she starts talking about fame. And Kyle has changed. Fame has changed Kyle. Well, first of all, no, Kyle did not grow up, Miley Cyrus, okay? But she was a child actress. Like, let's not give her too much credit for being in the public eye as like a Miley or like an Amanda Bynes or a Britney or a Justin Timberlake, of course, or Bieber. Let's throw in all the Justins. I mean, talk about people I would take. I would take Bieber first, but I would take JT in a second, guys. Anyway, let me focus. So she's saying fame has changed Kyle and this. And it's like, Bethenny, you're now famous. And I promise you dearly, you are not the same person that we saw season 1 with a little parquet floor in New York City, which if anyone has ever lived in New York City on a lesser budget, those are the floors you had. I have such an aversion to those little floors because it brings me back to my first apartment in New York on Christopher Street. I had a view of the Empire State Building though, and I was only 24 at the time. For everyone wondering, unfortunately, I am no longer 24, which really is kind of a great thing because who wants to go back to their 20s? To you? What a miserable fucking time. Honestly, everyone in their 20s that is listening to this, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, life gets way better. All the shit you're going through, man, none of it's going to matter anymore, you guys. So I don't know. Is Bethenny our Bethenny in there anymore? Is our Bethenny our hero? I don't know. I truly don't know. I think Bethenny is really going through. You know what it is? Okay, you guys have a minute? Because now I got something else to say about Bethenny. That's why we do Just David. We have no agenda. We just go where the mind takes us. Everyone seems to like it. I think you guys like it more than I like it, but here we are. This is for all of you. There's Just David, because this is what you guys wanted, and it seems to be a hit, and I find it, I don't know, finding my groove, I guess. I find it a little strange, but everyone loves it. This is my thing about Bethenny. Did I just lose my train of thought? No, I have it back. Again, I'm not 24. I lose my mind. I don't think Bethenny has I don't think there's a plan. I know there's a reality reckoning, which started. We had Mark Garagos, her lawyer, on. We haven't heard a lot now. We haven't heard about the reckoning. Is it over? Is she going to go away? Is she still coming for Andy? But what I find interesting, I'm just checking the time. What I find interesting is I don't think there's a plan. When Bethenny started doing the makeup tutorials, and then, I said, oh, she's going to start a makeup line. Of course, she does everything for money, and now we have nothing. I don't think what she's doing now, I don't see a plan. I think she's throwing everything against the wall. I can't even keep her podcast straight. And listen, I'm all for I mean, I have a show every day. I'm more for more is more. I don't have a show every day for my health. I have a show every day because the more shows you do, the more money you make. It's that simple. I don't know how you guys listen to me every day. Don't you have David fatigue ever? But here's the deal. I don't, so there's this podcast and that podcast and rewives, and now there's like rants, the mini podcast. I can't keep it straight. I don't think there's a plan. I think Bethenny is throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks and trying to figure it out. That's truly how I feel. And I don't mean that in a good way. It's like she's interviewing Raquel and she's never seen Vanderpump Rules. Now we're interviewing Nene. So she had some big moments. Nene, of course, drops a bomb. Two of the OGs, the Mount Rushmores. Raquel drops a bomb. Jill Zarin drops a bomb. Bethenny and Jill, that's huge. What next? Like, look, she's gotta, just when people think, like, guys, I got some tricks up my sleeve. Trust me, I got some huge people coming. I always have something. Got to space it out, everybody. But I'm sure Bethenny has that person, but who and what? So there you go. But I don't think she knows what she's doing. I think she's just throwing stuff against the wall. Very smart businesswoman. I'm not taking anything away from her. I just think she's trying to find her footing. And, when Sarah was on here, she was saying she feels like it's sad, like Nene's sad. She's like, Nene seems lost since Greg died. And I agree with that. I think Bethenny is like, again, I'm actually not thirsty and I'm actually not a fame whore. If I had the money that Bethenny had, I wouldn't do this. Like, why? You have a daughter. I mean, did you see that Paul got her the Judith Lieber bag, the roller skate? So Paul, her fiance, got her a birthday bag, a roller skate with like a rainbow, and it's a Judith Lieber bag. That's like a $7,000. I'm just going to round up. It's an $8,000 bag. Okay. So Paul has money. Paul seems like the nicest guy. And by the way, Paul, when we go down the list of people, Paul is let's add him to the list. We have Evan Goldschneider. We have this new Dante. We have this new Benjamin. We have Justin Timberlake. We have Justin Bieber and Paul. I would like to do Paul. Very cute guy. Bethenny should just be happy with what she has. I don't know. Who am I to give advice? I certainly shouldn't be giving advice on, look, I'm not an alcoholic. So I am not. I have friends that have been through the program. I'm not one to judge. I mean, Shannon is now doing a outplacement program. Silence. Yes, I'm silent. Look, I'm not one to judge. I don't know what's best for Shannon. Her BFF, Jeff Lewis, says she's not an alcoholic. What I've watched, I don't know, but she's doing an outplacement program. Look, I hope it works. She's being photographed recently. She has bruises. She has a broken, I think, left arm. Maybe it's a right arm. Doesn't matter. Look, she has to be so embarrassed. I mean, she has to be right. Like, can you imagine, like, everyone says they'd be okay with it, but something really, really happens to you. And yet the whole world knows and has an opinion. So I do feel for Shannon. I would never shame alcoholism. It's hereditary. It's a disease. It's something that, you really can't help.